Did you know there was once a plane that disappeared without a trace, only to reappear 37 years later, with every passenger still on board? A flight that took off into clear skies and somehow slipped through time itself. This is the story of Flight 914, a mystery that has haunted the skies for over half a century. It was July 2nd, 1955. Flight 914, a Douglas DC-4, was scheduled to take off from New York City to Miami, Florida. On board, 57 passengers and a crew of 6. The weather was perfect. The skies were clear. The captain, Raymond Lopez, signed off the flight log at exactly 9:55 a.m. Everything was normal, routine, except this flight would never reach Miami. Just 3 hours into the journey, air traffic controllers lost all contact. No distress call, no radar signal. It simply vanished. Rescue teams searched for weeks. No Reiki, no debris, no oil slick on the ocean. Eventually, the U.S. Civil Aviation Authority declared it lost, presumed crashed. The families mourned, funerals were held, and Flight 914 faded into history. Or so they thought. Now, fast forward to May 21st, 1992. It was an ordinary day at Caracas Airport, Venezuela. Air traffic controller Juan de la Corte noticed something strange on his radar. An unidentified object approaching fast. He radioed it immediately. Unidentified aircraft. Please identify yourself. Static. Then a shaky voice replied. This is Pan American Flight 914 en route from New York to Miami. Juan froze. That flight number didn't exist anymore. He checked his logs. Flight 914 was lost in 1955. He asked the pilot to confirm his position. The man on the radio hesitated, then said, "What do you mean, 1955? We took off this morning." The controller watched in disbelief as the old-fashioned Douglas DC descended onto the runway. Its engine sputtered like ghosts from another time. The paint on the fuselage was peeling, but the Pan Am logo was clear. And when the cockpit opened, the crew looked terrified. Captain Lopez shouted to the radio tower glass, "Where are we? What year is this?" Ground staff rushed toward the plane, but before they could reach it, the pilot panicked. He restarted the engines, yelling, "No, stay back." The plane lifted off again, disappearing into the clouds, leaving behind only one thing: a flight schedule card, dated July 2nd, 1955. The Venezuelan authorities were baffled. The radar data was real. The air traffic records were real. Juan de la Corte, the controller, stuck to his story for years until his death. But things got stranger. 2 days after the incident, U.S. officials allegedly arrived in Caracas and confiscated every piece of evidence: radar tapes, radio transcripts, even witness reports. They said it was a training error. Case closed. Yet, months later, rumors spread that people living near Caracas had seen a glowing, antique airplane flying low at night, the same plane, with frost on its windows, and silhouettes moving inside. Some say Flight 914 flew through a time anomaly, a tear in the atmosphere that trapped it between years. Others believe it was part of a government experiment, an early test of time travel or teleportation gone wrong. And then there are those who swear to ghost flight, doomed to circle the skies forever, lost between worlds, never allowed to land. Years later, aviation experts tried to debunk the story, calling it urban legend. But no one could explain how multiple radar systems picked up the same signal or why official documents were sealed. Maybe Flight 914 never crashed. Maybe it never even left our world. Maybe time just forgot about it. They say on some nights, pilots flying over the Caribbean still hear faint distress signals on old radio frequencies. A man's voice calling out, "This is Pan American Flight 914, requesting landing clearance." And then silence. Perhaps some journeys never end. They just keep flying across the endless sky of the unknown.